What's up, motherfuckers? It's Big Marv here. Just going live to do a funnel map for Branden Himler. Hopefully I didn't butcher that last name. It might be Heimler. I don't know, but it's spelled Himler. Anyways, he hit me up. We had a strategy session. I went over, a way to promote it. He grasped it, thought it was a good idea, but he's a visual person, and it would be easier for him to consume the strategy if I were to build out an actual funnel map for him to look at. Now, I typically don't build funnel maps unless you pull the trigger and you become my client. And so, obviously, step one of our relationship would be me building this map. But he needs something visual to pull that trigger, so fuck it. I'm just gonna go live and build it out so you guys can see it, so he can see it. Then he can hit me up and make that decision if he wants my team to bring this shit to reality. So here goes nothing. Just give me a couple minutes. I'm gonna share this to a couple groups and to my personal profile. Then we'll dig in. Live funnel map build. And by the way, guys, if you're trying to build an organic audience, don't fucking post from your personal page, god damn it. Do exactly what I'm doing. Go live from your business page, share it to your personal timeline, share it to your fucking group, share it everywhere. That's going to drive organic traffic back to your business page, right? So just make sure you're doing that. Because otherwise, you fucking don't show up in the algorithm. So you need to fucking do it from your business page so you can retarget all those motherfuckers that watch your shit. So you can make them buy your shit. So you can make them consume your content and keep coming back. So that's the whole point. Alright, so it's all shared out to my groups and my personal profile. So let's go ahead and dig in. Oh look, there I am live. Boom! Alright, so let's go to Funnelytics. That's where we're going to build this out. Funnelytics. Alright, so if you guys want your own Funnelytics account, just go to funnelmap.marvinsworld.us. It's an awesome tool. Of course, it's free. They have a paid option. You don't really need the paid option, but what's nice about the paid bonus that they give you is they hack other big funnels, right? So they give you the funnel map and the strategies from them hacking those other funnels. And if those funnels are built with ClickFunnels, then they even give you the ClickFunnels share funnel. So that's why I use Funnelytics, because it's a great visual tool to map out your funnel, and two, they hack other big funnels. So I'm really big on R&D, seeing what other things are working for other people, and then building strategies around that. So that's why I do it. All right, so let's see. Branden Himler. I'm gonna say Himler. I'm gonna say it's Himler. It's the word Him-L-E-R, so it has to be pronounced Himler. All right, the funnel name is gonna be Nexa. I'm pretty sure I think it's Nexa. If it's not Nexa, oh well. Imagine that's the name of his brand. Alright, so how would you get motherfuckers to come in, and how would you recruit them for your broker business? The same way you recruit them for your funnel services, the same way you'd recruit them for your information packages, the same. It doesn't fucking matter what niche, what industry. I don't give a fuck who you're trying to serve. It doesn't matter. The process is the same, different variables, right? Doesn't fucking matter. You need a lead magnet, right? And then you need a value stack to walk them up your value ladder after they buy your shit, right? After they download whatever the fucking free thing is, you need something. You need to keep retargeting them, because the money is not in the lead magnet. The money is in the follow-up. So it's imperative that you have a solid fucking strategy and follow-up sequence to close these people out that come through your funnel. Now, the reason you start with a lead magnet, because you want to start with value. Nobody gives a fuck about the fucking product or service anymore, right? They give a fuck about whatever face is attached to it. 80% of what I teach can be found on fucking YouTube. Can be found on Google. Hell, I might even say 90%. Actually, 100% because I put my own fucking videos out there for free. So if you go to my YouTube, my Big Marv page, obviously. But I'm just saying 80% of what I teach you guys, you could find for free, but people still pay me thousands of dollars. It's because of this face. It's because I'm good at what I fucking do. And I walk you guys through this. I've established myself as an authority figure. So no matter what industry or niche is, that's what you need to do is leave with value, establish yourself as that authority figure, and then whenever they jump on a call with you, you don't even have to fucking sell them because you've already established yourself as an authority figure in their world. They already see you as the guy that's going to solve their problem because you gave them something for free that radically changed whatever it is they're doing in their life, which instantly makes you a fucking authority figure. So that's why you want to start with a lead magnet. Incredible amount of value that's going to bring them in to your circle. Once you bring them into your circle, you got them. Now it's your job to follow up with them, keep them warm, nurture them, and walk them up the rest of your value ladder. So that's why it's imperative to build a value stack that they can walk up. Because if they consume your free content and they fall in love with you and you don't have a stack ready for them to go up your ladder, then they're just going to be sitting there twiddling your thumbs and then find somebody that can solve their fucking problems. Because obviously you don't care enough to follow up with them and solve their problems. Right? So we're going to start out with an opt-in page lead magnet right here. And that lead magnet for him, right? So he's trying to get brokers. And I watched this fucking hour and a half webinar that he sent over to me, which a lot of it was Greek. But not being a broker and just outsider's perspective, it seemed like the biggest pain point they had was when you are a loan officer at a bank, for example, you're fucking locked into those restrictions and shit that the bank gives you. You can't, go talk to brokers and talk to different lenders and try to find the right deal with the right percentage rate for your client. You're kind of just stuck whatever the fuck the bank offers. Right, so it'd be sexy for a mortgage broker to be able to up their commissions, serve their clients better, and get paid more often because they're going to be able to serve more clients by having a lender network versus being stuck in this bullshit loan officer position with all these stipulations, right? So your lead magnet is going to be something along the lines of how you can go from making X commission to X commission using your own backstory to bridge that gap. Because when you're looking at your audience, you need to have that backstory that relates to them, that aligns with them. Because like I said, it all boils down to your face, your personality. People want to follow you, the person, right? So your backstory needs to align with that person. So hopefully, Brandon, you were a loan officer or something before you joined the brokerage things, or maybe you have stories where you've worked with loan officers and you helped transform their lives. But basically, that's what you're going to go with. You're going to tell the story of how you were doing X, Y, and Z, and then you found this amazing thing, and it radically changed your life, and now you want to show others how they can radically change theirs as well. Now, notice you have your webinar where y'all go through and do wide next, so you could even turn that into an automated webinar. So that would be the two strategies that I go with. One, I have a lead magnet, right? You could drive them straight to register for your webinar page, right? Give me a second. Let me find an example for just driving traffic directly to your motherfucking webinar registration. Because, I mean, even the webinar, if it's positioned properly, you can drive it to cold traffic. The only reason I like doing a lead magnet before the webinar is because not everybody's going to sign up for your webinar, so you really, really want that lead magnet or something in the front end so you can grab their email address and follow up with them to join the webinar. Alright, so, but here's an example. Where are you at, you fucking link? Hold on. I skipped it. Fuck, I can't find it. Oh well. Let me pull up another one then. Sign out. Alright, so here's one that we're running. And so here's a lead magnet, right? How a 72-year-old disabled veteran learned to turn his fixed income into his own golden goose, right? So that is a problem that aligns with a lot of his audience, right? Maybe they're retired people, or but that's the angle that he's approaching. So other people that have a limited or fixed income are going to want to follow him because he turned a fixed income into a life of freedom, a life of financial freedom, right? And then we bridge them with a webinar page saying, congratulations, your guide's going to be delivered shortly, blah, 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 click here to register, right? And then that drives them to the webinar registration, right, to where they can register the webinar. So because we have this lead magnet and bridge in first, we have a full automated sequence in the back end that once they opt in, because most of the people that download the lead magnet aren't fucking registering to the webinar immediately, right? So we're counting on our automated sequence in the back end to bring those people into the webinar, right? So that's the biggest part I would focus on for you, is automating that webinar functionality that you guys have. Because you see here, our ebook delivery, we have all these follow-up emails that are going out to people, right? That's why it's imperative to, the money is in the follow-up. Like, no bullshit, the money is in the follow-up. Let's check out the stats. We just launched this last Friday, right? So he's got a 32% opt-in rate. Out of these 50 people, only about 15 registered for the webinar, right? Which is not bad. All right, 15 people out of 50, it's not bad, but now these 50 people are going to be getting all these follow-up emails, and there's call to action in these emails to register for the webinar. So all in all, he's gotten like 400, almost 400 leads into this automated sequence, right? He's gotten 362 leads. Out of that 362, 124 have signed up to the webinar, right? And out of that 124, only a handful have actually made a purchase. So that's why you want that lead magnet, so you can keep pumping shit into it, getting them into the email sequence and converting them on the back end later, right? So you have your lead magnet first. And then your lead magnet obviously is going to go, you're going to have an email sequence. Now, whatever your lead magnet is, I'm going to recommend your lead magnet be some kind of time-sensitive challenge, or some kind of, like, change your life in X amount of days. Do this in X amount of days. Do this in X amount of weeks. You want to use days or weeks. Don't use months or years, because days and weeks sound sexier. People get overwhelmed when you say it's going to take 2 months. You can say it's going to take 60 days and more people will opt in, versus if you're going to say it takes 2 months. It's the same fucking amount of time, but for whatever reason in our brain, we're like, oh, months are longer than days, so I'd rather take 60 days than 2 months. Human psychology is funny, right? Alright, so then once they opt in, they're going to go to your automated fucking webinar page, right? We're going to call that the sales video. This is that same webinar that I had to wait until 11 to actually watch the presentation that you guys do, and then you have the replay. So I just take a fire replay and turn it into an automated webinar, so you guys don't have to actually take your time every fucking week and do this same webinar. Like, you already have it dialed in, why not automate it? So automate it, right? So you're going to go in and you're going to automate it, and then you're going to set some kind of timer at some certain part of the video when you start pitching it, that you give them the call to action to actually join Nexa, right? And then all of these email sequences are going to be following up on the pain points of why they want to join Nexa, and invite them, right? Each of these emails are going to invite them to come back to the sales video, each one of the emails. And that's why I say make your lead magnet something that is time sensitive, like a 7-day, 14-day, 30-day challenge or change, whatever, because you can write your email sequences about that. If you take my personal brand blueprint, for example, we have a 100-day email sequence that follows up with them and walks them up to the rest of our value stack. So if yours is only 3 days, then you only got 3 emails that you can naturally write that people are going to expect for you to follow up with. So then your every email after the 3rd day needs to be value packed emails that are going to draw them into the webinar. Whereas if it's a challenge that's over 7 days or 14 days, etc., now you can naturally write these emails because you're actually coaching them through a challenge, so they expect you to email them daily. All right. And then your sales video, you're going to do the same thing, right? So this is going to be them registering for the webinar, right? You can, and when you set it for them to register, they're going to be sent a date and time, or we can even set it up to where it's like join the next webinar, and we can just have it set for every 15 or 30 minutes, so it's simulated live webinar every 15 to 30 minutes, and we can even put in a calendar where they can actually schedule to come back and watch it, but it's still a simulated live video. That's how I would set that up. And then all your registrants to this, right, all your registrants, you're going to send those motherfuckers emails as well, because not everybody's going to show up. So you're going to have to think of an email sequence. I mean, and I already know what email sequence you can have, but we're going to write an email sequence basically to follow up with them, keep them accountable, and make them show up to this fucking webinar. But, you know, they don't always show up, and that's just the name of the game. They just don't always show up. So, where is it? Here we go. Webinar. Right? So you got your sales video that pitches them on registering and joining the webinar. Right? And then each of these, you're going to be telling them about the webinar. Come to the fucking webinar. Show up, you piece of shit. You signed up, show up. All you gotta do to win in life is fucking show up. So this is what you're gonna be doing. You're gonna be writing email sequence takes them to register, and then this email sequence takes them to join and actually watch. Right? Then on this one, at some point in time, we're gonna pitch them. And the order pay, I don't know if it costs money to actually join Nexa or not. If it doesn't, you just need their standard registration, whatever it is. However they join Nexa, we'll come up with an automated solution that allows them to join the team without you guys touching them. And once they join the team, we're going to send them automated emails welcoming them to the team, etc., etc. Right? And some of these emails are going to be more than 5 emails. I'm just doing multiple ones so you comprehend that this is a sequence of emails, not just one email. And since 5-day soap opera sequence is the most common, that's why I choose 5. But anyway, so this is going to go here. Drop them into that sequence. And then this sequence, based on their actions, is going to follow up with them and make them take other actions. So if you have other things in your value stack, you might take them there, right? So let's see. If you have other things in your value stack, you might take them to an order page, right? Or you might take them to your Facebook group, or you might take them to an upsell, some kind of course or something that's going to boost them being a broker. You know, whatever things are in your value stack, that's where you're going to take them with these emails. You might have a closed Facebook group. Like, you can use a closed Facebook group as a call to action in every email. It doesn't fucking matter. So I'm just going to mix these arrows up because it all depends on your value stack, where they are in the journey, and you're going to retarget them based on actions that they take in these email. And it's going to go to either maybe your order page, an upsell page, maybe your Facebook group. You know, it could be a Facebook group, a closed Facebook group. Especially like one of the things you could do, Branden, just as, you know, this guy that helps recruit brokers, is you could have a closed Facebook group that you charge a monthly continuity fee for them to join the group, so you can teach them how to be better brokers, how to close more deals, etc., etc. That could be one of your offers, is join my Facebook group for X amount of dollars a month. You know what I'm saying? So once you got that lined out, then you're going to take them to a thank you page. And then it's imperative that on your thank you page, you have more call to actions for them, right? So your call to action could be, click here to follow me on Facebook. It could be, you know, follow my IG. It could be, send me a message on Facebook, get started today. It could be, you know, follow my fucking YouTube. You know, it could be, join my closed Facebook group. Like, it could be anything. Just make sure you have a call to action on there. Don't waste that thank you page. Like, you're going to say thank you. You can watch the replay shortly, or thank you for buying in, thank you for joining. You know, you tell them what you got to tell them, but make sure you have a call to action. Give them something else to do on that thank you page. Here, I'll give you guys another example, right? So, like, when people opt into Bob's, remember we sent them to a bridge page that says, hey, thank you for downloading my shit. Here's your next call to action. Go here for the masterclass, right? And then when they register to the masterclass, our next call to action is that email sequence that's like, hey, make sure you fucking show up. You know what I'm saying? And then each of these email, like, then once they actually join the webinar and show up to the webinar, now they're retargeted to buy different products that he sells through the webinar. So that is pretty much the gist of it. I would start, we'd come up and create a lead magnet together if you don't already have one, or we'd start with your webinar and just get people to register on the front end of your webinar. Just understand that because you don't have a lead magnet, you're going to be paying a little bit more for leads, because not everybody's going to join the webinar, but that's fine. Once we start retargeting people on Facebook, those leads will start getting cheaper and cheaper over time as your page grows, as you get more case studies, as you know, as people begin to know who you are. But right there in the beginning, if you're driving traffic directly to a webinar registration, it is going to take you a little bit to dial in that audience and start getting the leads that you actually want. So this is Big Marv. I hope this funnel map and funnel strategy was helpful for you guys. Leave a comment below and let me know your opinions. Thank you so much for tuning in. One love. Have a good one out there.